Hey there, folks. I'm here in Multnomah County, Oregon, in the Columbia River Gorge, and it is really beautiful out here. I don't know if you've ever been to the Columbia River Gorge, but it's one of the best places I feel on the planet. You know, it's got year-round growing season, and it's really beautiful. There's a lot of fruit and produce, and it gets grown here. There's also wind farms, solar farms. So it's really, really verdant, lush, rich place to live. And there's a lot of salmon that run in this river right here. Even now, despite the dam, you know, my view on what I see as the rise of fascism in the United States, because, you know, to me, it seems very clear that there's an increase of intolerance. Like, intolerance is on the rise. There are people of El Salvadoran descent dying in rivers with their children underneath their t-shirts, you know, because we are trying to bar them from entering. And what I see happening in Central and South America right now is that it's getting a lot hotter. It's getting a lot hotter down there. So, you know, the farming is going to be, it's unsustainable. The people can't farm on the equator like they used to. So as more and more of the equator becomes uninhabitable for people because there's no water and you can't grow any crops there, the people are going to continue fleeing to places like this, because here we can grow food, here we have water. And so what happens is, as the times become more and more desperate and the people have less resources, then we have to decide whether we're going to share. And what we can see in the crisis, the humanitarian crisis that's unfolding at the border, is that people by and large they're not willing to share. And so instead, what we have is mass incarceration. And while we have these gigantic rivers, we have people who are fleeing dehydration in the desert, dying of dehydration inside of our jail cells. So, you know, I feel like that's not okay. We shouldn't have little children dying of dehydration in our jail cells, for one. And for two, jail cells shouldn't be for profit. It doesn't make sense that we have for-profit prisons starving and dehydrating children. If we're going to do that, we have to accept that those are concentration camp-like conditions. If you do not have access to a mattress and you do not have access to water or a toothbrush or any kind of health care, that's a concentration camp. Especially if you see a predominant race of people in there or a predominant country of origin. It tells you that it is selectively being enforced against a specific demographic. And in order for that to happen, you have to have a nation which is willing to tolerate that sort of a condition for their prisons. So that's why I call it what I believe it is, which is a rise of fascism. If it wasn't concentration camps of small children and their parents being held in unsanitary conditions without access to food, water, or medicine, you know, if it was a more humane situation, like, for instance, the humane situation we provide for Native Americans currently, because I can tell you, it's not good what the government provides for its stewards. They take possession of the property and they don't give you what you're worth. And that's what's happening to those people right now. They took possession of the people. They're charging $750 a day to you and I, the taxpayers of America. And meanwhile, they're letting the children starve to death and die of dehydration. So, you know, that's just one example of what I see as the rise of fascism. And when you think about it in terms of, is that ethnic cleansing? No. Locking small children in concentration camps is not actually ethnic cleansing. But what ethnic cleansing is, according to the definition in the dictionary of ethnic cleansing is when you separate a child from its parent and then give that child over to another person. That's ethnic cleansing when it's carried out against a specific group of people, which is what's happening right now in the United States. So I just wanted to come on and clarify things for people who are interested in listening, so that you can understand why I see a rise of fascism in the United States and why I might think that there's ethnic cleansing happening. So with all that said, I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. I do hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk with you again very soon.